So I figured out that the heater core is bad on my Rabbit. So today I'm going to show you how to change the heater core. First things first is you want to loosen this up. You don't have to take it off, just loosen it. Loosen all the pressure and then drain your coolant or you're going to make a mess. Alright, so here we are up under the dash. First things first is there's this little cover to cover your heater core. Just take a flathead and pry that piece off. And then if you look back here, you can see there's two hoses that come in from the firewall that come into the heater core. Those both have to come undone. They're just 6mm hose clamps or a flathead. You're going to have to get into some weird positions to get to these. It might help if you remove the driver's seat. It'll give you some room to lay down. And you're going to have to kind of move the gas pedal around too to be able to get to them. The one on the bottom I found was easier for me to get a flathead on, but the one that's higher up is definitely one that is easier to get with a 6mm wrench. Once you get those clamps undone, you want to go under the hood and pull on those hoses. Oh, I got them off, and it's pressurized apparently, so it's blue coolant and 30 years worth of all over my face, my arms. Alright, here you can see now I got both of these hoses off. Most of yours will probably have a rain drip pan that runs along here. I didn't for some reason. But there's 4 8mm bolts. You want to loosen up every one of those. Okay, now with all those bolts out, you should be able to drop this down. And twist it enough where you can get this out. Just like that. Now at this point, take it out, throw that piece up in the trash can. Now we're ready for the new one. So be very careful when you put your new one back in. They're pretty fragile, and it would suck to put it all back together just to realize you punctured it when you were putting it in to begin with. For this next part, it's usually easier to have another person with you, but I don't, so I'm going to have to figure it out on my own. But you want to take this box, just do the reverse order of what you did to begin with. So if you can get it to sit in place even a little bit, can come back up to the front here. Usually you can just grab it with your hands and position it into where you need it to go. bit of a lip back in there. Right in here, that's easy enough to get over. You just put a flathead in there. I'll need both hands to do it, so I'll have to set this down. So after that, you want to come back around, hook your hoses that go back up through the firewall onto the heater core. Once again, it's much easier to do with 2 people, but it's manageable with 1. It's just a pain. Already got the bottom one pretty well on. You'll have to go back and forth between the inside of the vehicle and the outside to check the alignment, see if you're close. I think I just felt it going right there. Perfect. So I went ahead and put the hose clamps on to the heater core side of it before I ran the hoses through the firewall. Because if you put the clamps onto the hoses, it makes it pretty hard to stuff them through the hole in the firewall to put them on. So I don't have them tight or anything, I just had them resting on there and then got the hoses on, and from here I'll be able to wiggle the clamps on to where they need to go, pull the hoses all the way onto the fitting, and then tighten it up.